Hi, I'm Wendy Schultz, founder of the Simple Life Hospitality, aka Simple Life Rentals. Thank you for expressing interest in our vacation rental management program. Excited to tell you about that today. Just a little bit of background. My husband and I purchased a vacation property a number of years ago and discovered that the vacation rental managers in the area were not doing things in a modern way. In fact, it was very old school. Things like having to use a check instead of a credit card to pay for property, not being able to contact, or I'm sorry, to book online, having to bring your own linens and not having linens provided at the property, and not being able to take shorter stays than a week-long vacation, as well as things like the pricing was always the same. In fact, it was pricing from way back and was not keeping up with the current pricing in the market. And also having to go to an office to check in and check out with a key. Knowing that travelers were becoming more savvy and more modern in how they wanted to book their properties, I ended up deciding to manage on my own, and ended up having quite a bit of success with that and purchased a second property to do the same. And then people started to hear that we were doing well and asked me, my husband, to manage their property as well. And that's really where the Simple Life Hospitality was born. Today, we've grown to over 120 properties that we manage in Wisconsin and Florida. And one of the secrets that keeps us growing faster than any other property manager that is a privately held company is that we really take pride in continuous improvement, doing better than we did last year, and really building a consultative relationship with our owners. We want to be partners. We are business partners. We are here to serve guests and also to make sure your property is very well taken care of too. So we have been continuously learning and finding new ways to get better year after year. So what do we do with our program? How do we, what kind of things do we do in our program, and what do we manage? So we have, we are managing the business of your vacation rental. So we are doing all of the marketing of your property. We are currently on Airbnb, VRBO. We have our own direct book website. We are also adding new, what they call OTAs, online travel agencies. That would be like another, that would be VRBO and Airbnb. But we are adding additional ones that have guests coming through there, maybe not as big as VRBO and Airbnb, but there's quite a bit of OTAs out there with additional business out there to be had. We also do a lot of social media. We have Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and LinkedIn. And so we're building a following on all of those different channels. We also belong to a lot of the Facebook groups for the area for people looking for vacation rentals. And so when someone's looking for a vacation rental, we will post that we have properties available and get a link to our site. As time goes on, we are adding more and more repeat guests, as well as guests are becoming familiar with the brand, The Simple Life. And so they are seeking us out when they're ready to book. So we've been steadily adding direct bookings, which is very beneficial considering that we have more control of people and how they see our properties, the algorithm, all that. So that is something else we find very important, is to continue to get more guest bookings that way. Also, we are doing repeat guest bookings or past guest bookings, past guest emails and marketing so that we can continue to drive previous guests back to our properties. We also do, when the guests are there, the 24/7, 365 guest service. So we are taking calls, no matter what day or the week it is, whatever, no matter what holiday it is, we're taking those calls so that you don't have to. And the 99% of what we can handle ourselves, but sometimes we do need to involve the owner, but we are going to serve as that first buffer to take care of all the issues that we can. And then a lot of those issues can be resolved over the phone, or if we need to contact, say, a plumber or an electrician, then we can make those phone calls for you and get someone in there to serve the guest. Of course, our primary responsibility is to keep the guests safe and to keep your property safe. So those are our two top goals, to make sure that we are keeping everyone safe and that we're protecting your property from damage. So we do want to make sure we're staying on top of those issues as soon as they happen. We also then do all of the turns. So we have local contractors that are the best cleaners in Door County and other areas. We want to continuously bring in people that strive for excellence. So we are wanting to make sure that they are getting 5-star reviews consistently, but if there is issues, that we are addressing them immediately, because we know that cleaning is extremely important and the reviews are extremely important for that. I have to say that cleaning is the biggest issue in vacation rental management. You can ask pretty much any manager and they'll agree with me that it is a big challenge. And so we wanted to partner with people who are very professional, who run their own companies. And we've gone through a number of cleaners that weren't very good. And so we feel like we've gotten the best that's out there, and they're doing a consistently good job for us. And nice thing is, a lot of them, they've retired or they've changed careers from something else that they've done in the past, and they just have a great sense of pride in what they're doing. We also then do all of the filing of the room and sales tax as appropriate and according to the frequency that is required by whatever frequency is required by the IRS for your property and for your circumstance. So we will file all those taxes for you so that you don't have to worry about that. And then at the end of the year, you're going to get a 1099 so that you can file your income tax. So income tax is separate than the room and sales tax. We also then review your guests and try to encourage them to review us as well. And so we do strive for 5-star reviews. I'll tell you, not every review is a 5-star review. Sometimes issues come up. Sometimes people just only give 4-star reviews. That's just how they operate. So but we do strive for 5-star reviews, and we do try to educate our guests to let them know that a 5-star review is very important. A couple other things about our status. So we are Superhost. We are the Airbnb Superhost program. So we are Superhost. That helps us to rank higher in the search algorithm, and also to give your property a sense of credibility, even if it's a brand new property to us. When they see that it's managed by someone who is a Superhost, who has thousands and thousands of good reviews, that instills confidence in people to book, and also allows us to bump the prices a bit, because people are not nervous as much taking a risk on a property that is managed by a Superhost that is well experienced. Same thing with Premier Host, which is the program for VRBO. Same thing, just gives us a boost in the rankings and also helps us to give credibility to new properties as they come on board. We also do a thing called dynamic pricing. So when I mentioned before the property managers that I'd seen out there, they were doing a lot of static pricing. So the pricing was the same for an entire week, or maybe it was, high season, low season pricing. Maybe it was the weekdays were one price, the weekends were this other price. But what I discovered is that they were really not capturing the supply and demand. I'm a business major, have a master's in business, and supply and demand is a big thing I talk about. But basically, when it's 4th of July week, and we know that every property is going to book, we are going to increase the rates to accommodate whatever the market is willing to bear for that property and with the amount of demand there is. So we use a software that does dynamic pricing. We do watch it. We have inputs that we put in there. And then once we get that rolling, it moves the pricing up and down depending on what's going on in the market. What is the supply that's available? What is the demand? And it'll just move those rates. We do monitor that, and we do work with a vacation rental revenue consultant who helps us to come up with strategies and things. Because as I mentioned, I believe I mentioned before, but COVID really impacted the vacation rental industry in that it made it go sky high, which is amazing and has been a wonderful few years. However, things are starting to come back down to pre-COVID levels. For people who never owned during pre-COVID levels, you're going to start to see things settle in where they probably were and should be. They're still staying higher than COVID, but if you think about it, the demand went way up during COVID, and properties also went way up. So the supply of properties went up pretty high. Now, as the demand is starting to come down, the supply is still there. There's still a lot of properties out there. So some of the ways to be able to bring in guests is we have to bring those property prices down to accommodate the new supply. I'm sorry, the new demand, as people started to travel to Europe or travel on cruise ships and things that were basically shut down for the last few years. So now you're starting to see the world open up again, and people are traveling a little differently, and the demand may take a little bit of a while to even out again. So that dynamic pricing has helped us bring owners in significant amount of additional revenue than if they were to manage on their own or if they were to manage to another vacation rental company. And talking thousands and tens of thousands of dollars we've been able to bring in for our owners. And we do have case studies that show that our owners who've worked with previous property managers in the area, and showing that we have been able to bring in tens of thousands of dollars. And if you think about it over time, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, we're starting to really compound the amount of additional revenue we're bringing in for our owners. Another thing we do differently is that we don't charge our owners for things like the credit card fees, the commissions from the OTAs, the Airbnb. But what we do then is we will increase the rate for what it is to book on Amazon. I'm sorry, Amazon. Oh my gosh, Airbnb. So for example, if you were to book on our site, it might be $100 a night, but if you to go on Airbnb, it might be $110 to accommodate all of those fees that are in there. So that guest will pay $110. That $10 goes to fix those fees. You still end up with what you would have if that person had booked direct. So that is not coming from you. I know this for a fact that other property managers charge for that. I do have a property in Florida, and I've had several vacation rental managers, and I know how they operate, and they do charge for that thing. So sometimes when they say the rate is, maybe it's a 10% or 15% commission, you're not really getting that, because I'll tell you, I don't think they could survive on that. So a lot of times they are charging you those credit card fees, and then they're charging marketing expenses and things like that. Those are things that may be coming out of your income. And so that 15% ends up being closer to 20, 25, whatever it happens to be. So when you're not really comparing apples to apples, that's something to really consider. Additionally, we have a number of owner testimonials that are absolutely phenomenal. Our owners who worked with previous property management companies, they have been absolutely thrilled with us because we really build that partnership, and we really strive to make the most revenue that we can together. And that's been something that has been really beneficial for both us and the owners. Another thing I want to talk about is our damage waiver. So we, a number of years ago, we determined that the security deposit was not very effective. So a lot of times people will pay a $500 security deposit or something like that, maybe $1,000 depending on the property. And they check out of the property and they get their security deposit back. And lo and behold, we end up finding that 2 or 3 guests down the road, someone had messed up the lamp and one person touched it and the thing falls apart or the table falls apart. And this happens. This happens a lot. Not a lot, but it happens. What we determined is that what was the easiest process for us is to collect a damage waiver. It's a non-refundable damage waiver, and it creates an insurance fund for us to be able to pay out damages on your property, up to $1,000 unintentional damages. So if somebody were to break the ping pong table, which has happened, and we don't know which guest actually did it, and not to mention that it's difficult to get the money from Airbnb. And secondly, it's difficult to get the money from the guest without them getting argumentative and causing a lot of issues. We ended up doing this and now we just pay out that ping pong table. If you go get a new one, send us a receipt and we'll reimburse it for you. That has been super beneficial. It has caused a lot less issues. And we really don't have to pay out a lot of damages. Thankfully, our guests tend to be very well behaved and they don't cause a lot of issues. And so we don't have a lot of damages that we're dealing with. So how do you get started? Like how would this get started? So we do what's called a startup package. So we will help you get all your permits that you need. So depending on the area, you're going to need probably a state health permit. You're going to need a local municipality permit. You're going to need a permit from the county. Sometimes you may, to get all your taxes set up. So we're going to help you facilitate that process. We're going to need your help on some of it, but we are going to help you facilitate that process. We are also going to get professional photography of your property. The real estate photography makes a huge difference, and especially in a competitive market, the pictures can make all the difference in the world. So we want to get you some professional photos as well. We will also install a Wi-Fi lock on your door. If your property can accommodate it, we install a Wi-Fi lock that allows us to be able to put in codes for each individual guest. So as a guest checks in, we can put in the code, know that when they check out, the code expires and it goes away. Also can do that for contractors. You'll also have your own codes hard-coded in. We have codes hard-coded in so that should there be an outage of electricity and the Wi-Fi goes out, there are still codes that are hard-coded in there that the guest can get in and you as well. So we install that. We also have you purchase a VRBO subscription. And that is an ongoing yearly expense. And that is a way for us to advertise on there each year and not have to pay the big commissions on there. And then also we are going to help you, get consulted and help you get everything up and running, do your listing, and really get you set up for success. And that package is priced and a one-time thing. Those details will be sent to you. And then each year there would just be the ongoing licensing permits and then, the VRBO subscription. So not that big expense that first time. Another thing we're doing, a couple of things that we are offering is a linen program. So our property owners who have been, they're looking for the sheets and towels, and what do I buy? We are encouraging and also offering our property owners a very quality hospitality brand called Standard Textile. So what that is we are wholesale program. I actually have a retail background, so I'm using my old retail roots when I first opened my business and opened a store. We're going back to that, but we are doing linens and offering discounted linens to our property owners. We recommend and actually require now 3 sets of sheets for each bed that guests are going to stay in. So that is it's something that allows us to have 1 set of sheets on the bed, 1 set of sheets in laundry offsite, and then 1 set of sheets spare in the closet, so that we always have an extra. And then also with towels, I believe it's 1.5 towel per guest. Actually, no, 3 sets of towels, but then the hand towels I think is a little bit different. But anyway, that is something that our onboarding specialists can help you determine what you would need for that. The benefits of this linen program is that we can keep our costs down by having the same sheets for various properties. So we're not having to have storage for each individual property. We're not having to run laundry back out to a property when there might be a turn. There's that property, the sheets will be in a pool, and then we just take the sheets out as we can, and if there's any issues, we can change out sheets with the similar sheets that we have in stock. So lots of benefits. Their guests love it. It also is very sanitary because we are not leaving on comforters that have been not washed every single turn. And as much as we would like our cleaners to wash all that, it would be an extraordinary amount of additional cleaning fees to be able to do that. So what we're doing with the triple sheeting, similar to what you see in hotel rooms, is that we have layers of sheets and then a warm layer in between. Again, our onboarding specialist can help you with that and determining that, but just want to give you that out there, that is something that we're offering and has been very well received by our owners, our guests, and our cleaning staff as well. And then lastly, we also do a home watch program. So this is something new. We've not been caretakers for your property. So we've been handling the vacation rental aspect, but not doing anything with the caretaking of the property. So you will still need snow removal, you'll still need lawn care, you'll still need garbage service. There's a number of things that you're still going to need to have set up, but this home watch program is to help to keep an eye on the property every month to make sure that there's someone going out there checking for batteries, air filters, things like that, making sure the pipes aren't frozen, that kind of stuff, so that there's always eyes on your property. We do have a monthly fee for that. Again, the onboarding specialist can share that with you. Whew, that's a lot of information, but that is a big overview of everything that we do. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention. So the commission rate. So we do charge a commission. It is based on the nightly rate. So the nightly rate is the rate before any taxes, any fees, any of that, that is added on top of, or I'm sorry, the commission comes off of that nightly rate. So if you are charging, for easy math, $100 a night, we would take our commission out of that, and then the cleaning fees, taxes, all of that, that is separate, and that is not commission based. So then, once you receive whatever comes out of that commission, unless you've had your own cleans that you need service to be deducted from your proceeds, or if you need to have the plumber come in or whatever kind of charge, you're not having those extra fees come out. You're not having the credit card fee come out. You're not having a commission from Airbnb come out. That is yours. So after our commission, that comes to you. And those do come on a monthly basis, and you have access to a owner portal where your statements are located, and also where you can put in your own bookings and monitor your bookings as well. All right, so now I think we're done here. Lots of information again. Please feel free to reach out. We're happy to answer any questions that you may have. I hopefully tackled a number of the frequently asked questions that you may have, but I'm sure there are plenty more. Please feel free to reach out to me. I appreciate your attention and we would look forward to working with you. Thank you. Bye.